I said the words out loud, and I swear the air changed instantly. I can't stay monogamous. That's what I told my husband. Not whispered, not softened. I said it like a fact, like I was announcing the weather. And the look on his face in that exact second, it's burned into me. My husband, James, the man who held my hair back when I got food poisoning in Mexico, the man who worked 2 jobs to help me finish grad school, the man who once drove 3 hours in the middle of the night just to pick me up from a broken-down car. He stared at me like I was a stranger. I don't know what I expected. Maybe I thought he'd roll his eyes, maybe he'd laugh it off, maybe he'd even try to negotiate. But instead, he went still. Too still. And in that silence, I knew I had lit a match I couldn't blow out. The truth is, this had been building inside me for years. I married James when I was 25, young, in love, swept away by the idea of stability. He was safe, steady, someone I could count on. He was the opposite of the chaotic men I dated before him. He made me feel like I could build a future, and I wanted that. At least, I thought I did. But as the years passed, something inside me shifted. The same routine dinners, the same Saturday grocery trips, the same sex in the same bed. It all started to feel like a cage. I fought with myself about it. I told myself it was normal, that everyone gets bored sometimes, that you don't just throw away a marriage because you crave something more. But the craving didn't stop. Every time a stranger's eyes lingered on me a little too long, every time I got a flirty message on Instagram, every time a coworker's hand brushed mine, by accident, I felt alive. And then I'd go home, sit across the dinner table from James, and feel numb. So one night I said it. I wanted to believe honesty was better than betrayal. I wanted to believe telling him was brave. But maybe I was just selfish. James didn't scream. He didn't throw a plate. He didn't even ask me to explain. He just said, "Then what are we even doing here?" His voice was low, steady, but his eyes, they were shattered. He got up from the table, left his half-finished dinner, and went to bed. I sat there staring at the wall, my appetite gone, wondering if I had just ended my marriage with 8 careless words. The days that followed were cold. He stopped kissing me goodbye in the mornings. He stopped texting me during the day. At night, he stayed up late in the living room, falling asleep on the couch instead of next to me. The distance grew so fast it was dizzying. I tried to reach out. I tried to explain that I still loved him, that I wanted him, but that I wanted freedom too. He looked at me with something that felt like disgust. "You don't love me," he said finally. "You love what I give you. You love the safety. But if you loved me, this conversation wouldn't even exist." And maybe he was right. 1 week later, he was gone. Just like that. He packed his bags and left me the house, the bills, and a note that read, "You broke it. I won't try to fix it." But what I wasn't prepared for, what I never imagined, was what came after. James didn't just leave quietly. He told people. At first I thought it was just his best friend, or maybe his sister. But then the whispers started at work. A colleague pulled me aside and said, "I didn't know you were into that kind of thing." My phone buzzed with a message from a mutual friend. "He told us you can't be faithful. Is that true?" And then, the ultimate gut punch. My mother called, voice trembling, asking me if it was true that I had confessed to not being capable of marriage. James was telling everyone, friends, family, coworkers. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't trashing me online, he wasn't posting rants. No, he was calmly, methodically sharing my words. She said she can't stay monogamous. And somehow, that was worse than any smear campaign could have been, because it was true, and the truth, once it was out, painted me as the villain. People looked at me differently. At parties, conversations stopped when I walked in. Friends who once called me for advice stopped picking up my calls. Even my boss gave me this cold look after hearing James's version, as if my personal choices made me unreliable professionally. Everywhere I went, I felt judged, branded. At first, I was furious. How dare he take my private confession and weaponize it? How dare he tell the world something I had said to him in vulnerability? But then I realized something even more painful. He didn't have to twist it. He didn't have to exaggerate. He just had to repeat it, and it ruined me. The worst part? He started to glow, like leaving me gave him a new life. I saw him on social media, smiling at dinners, surrounded by friends, his arm around people I didn't recognize. He looked free, and every post, every photo, every tagged location felt like another knife in my chest. He was thriving while I was shrinking. Nights are the hardest. I lie in the bed we once shared, staring at the ceiling, remembering the way he used to breathe beside me. I replay the moment I said those words, wishing I could grab them back, swallow them whole, erase them from existence. But words don't disappear. They stick. And now they define me. Sometimes I tell myself I was just being honest, that it's better than sneaking around, that I did the right thing. But if I'm honest with myself, I think I was testing him. I think a part of me wanted him to fight for me, to say he'd do anything to keep me, even share me if he had to. Instead, he walked away, and in doing so, he proved he loved himself enough not to stay where he wasn't wanted. And that kind of dignity, that kind of strength, haunts me. Because now I realize what I lost. Monogamy might feel like a cage sometimes, but it's also the net that catches you when you fall. James was my net. He was my home, my anchor, my safety. And I told him he wasn't enough. I told him I wanted more. And now he's gone, and all I have is the hollow sound of my own footsteps in an empty house. If you've ever thought about saying something reckless, something you can't take back, learn from me. Words don't just slip out, they detonate. And once the smoke clears, you'll be standing in the rubble alone, wondering why you ever thought destruction felt like freedom. I said I can't stay monogamous. And now my husband is done with me, telling everyone why. And the worst part? I can't even blame him,